My son is forcing me to watch him play Doom Eternal so I can see how awesome it is. We did have a 3D model of the spider mastermind. Sadly, all those models suffered, like latex does, suffered from rubber cancer, and they're all destroyed now. I'm sure maybe some of the armatures are left, but I doubt it.
So we want to get them there.
The move from our original office, I'm sure they were all destroyed.
So we're supposed to go that way. So we want to go this way.
We want to go this way through the guts. I tried to have levels that had guts, but of course I was somewhat handicapped by the fact that all my levels had to have absolutely vertical walls. So I couldn't really do it very well. So this is how they conceal where the monsters are, so that's probably, I guess. It's the kind of thing we would have done if we had monsters right in the lava. Ooh, look, a sandwich. Okay, the map. Oh. Yeah, so... Ooh, look, you can jump there, and I'm not sure why you would, but... Ooh, 1-up. You have lives in this thing?
I'm gonna guess so.
I mean, we did, I guess, so I can't
let's
complain.
see what the plasma thing does.
Ooh, heat blast. Microwaves.
Okay.
I think the microwave beam sounds cool because you make a guy explode.
Yeah, that's fine.
We always like seeing demons explode.
Yeah.
Consumes ammo quickly.
Okay. Well, now we know.
Out of ammo.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I've never seen that.
There is a Sentinel power core nearby.
They gave
You can use it to activate the mech and clear a path forward.
Sentinel power core. Yay! It's kind of awkwardly large. So where's this? Ooh, is that it?
What's this?
Is that the Sentinel power core? Are you gonna activate that giant hand?
I guess so.
Okay, giant hand, do your thing. Remind us of the movie Captain Sinbad. It is a giant hand. Okay, come on. You make a giant hand and it shoots a beam of energy. Seriously? It's obvious what a giant hand should do. It is not to shoot a beam of energy. Could have had a cool animation. He just opens the hand. I'm so disappointed. Okay, I like the guy in the pike. Alright. Let's go look at him some more. I mean, we did lots of that stuff. I mean, we had obviously things on pikes all the time.
It's kind of a rusty pipe now.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't use your best quality pike to put a corpse on. If you want to use one of the old pikes you didn't really have a use for anymore. I've done a lot of thinking about what kind of pike I'd want to put someone's head on. It's not my nice new shiny pike I just got from Walmart. It's the old crappy one that I've been using for a few years.
What's on there? Is that where it came from?
See, most people would be thinking about whose head they want to put on the pike. But not me, I'm looking ahead. I'm looking at the pike itself. Okay, so there's... Ooh, look, an evil skull-like thing that does something? Is it a bouncy thing? Or what? I guess not.
Let's see, they want me to jump back up.
This is very platform jumpy, much more than the old Doom was. Which is fine, I guess.
I like the roll.
Ours was... I'm not complaining about... Well, I mean, it does sound like I'm complaining about the land, but obviously, the old Doom was all about tactical puzzles, which this also seems to have.
Yeah.
People thought of it as a monster slaughtering fest, but you had to actually do tactical puzzles.
Oh, okay, here's where the...
Okay, we're on the other side of those things. The skybox has totally changed. I'm guessing you have to run down that pike at some point.
Oh, yeah, looks like you do. Alright, where are we going? Down here? Ooh, look.
The Arachnotron. Those actually seem harder to kill than the spider demons. Because they shoot fast, they have an auto. Oh, it jumped. It jumped just like those spider things do in Zelda. Lava's don't stand in the fire. Come on, I haven't played World of Warcraft.
Yes.
The healer's not going to kill you if you stand in the fire. And he shouldn't. Okay. So he was stunned, I guess, by you knocking off his gun. Does he regrow the gun?
No, I don't think so.
He just starts shooting things from his butt like he was doing earlier. Ooh, microwave him.
Oh yeah. Do I have ammo?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, you tripped around his rocket launcher, his jetpack, and that made him fly into the wall. That's awesome. Just like Boba Fett. Fires his rocket launcher and send him into the wall. Worst death ever. To be fair, Boba Fett's death is not one of the few things that is wrong in the game in Star Wars that is not Lucas's fault, because Lucas is not required to pick some character that the fans have fixated on and give them a glorious death. Okay, he's just a bounty hunter, right? So, wow, I would say that you have 28 health left.
That was an accurate thing.
How did it go up? Oh yeah, monsters belt sandwiches, I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay, and then auto. Oh, glorious death. Is it dead now? Is it just laying there? Okay. Oh, another one. Cool. And the gargoyle, or whatever they are. So does every monster have a glory death initial?
Yeah, and from like 6 different angles or something like that.
A lot of programming time went, and art time went for those. Maybe not programming time, but art time. Imagine being the artist that has to sit and animate your dumb monsters to die.
I know, right?
For all the glory deaths. What a task. How can I make this humanoid monster die differently and interestingly? Well, you know, they did it. I guess, you know, it worked. It helps if you have a monster that is such good, so detailed that you can afford to go in close. Although it's possible that they may not be quite as detailed when they're at distance. They might only get visible when they close up. I mean, that's what I would have taught back in my days at the guild hall. Weapon point acquired. Yay! And
Can we
ammo.
use the weapon point?
I don't know. Sure, why not? Put it in the plasma rifle. We want to see it do its stuff. It's a flag. And some things. Notice you refuse to use. Oh, there you finally did it. You refuse to use that belch thing. Which I gotta say, it's pretty awesome that it looks like one of that. It pretty much functions like one of those little plastic lemon things that squirts out lemon juice at the supermarket. You just hold it and squirt it out. That's
what were we looking at before?
I want to look over there some more. What is that thing over there?
By the end of the level. Let's see if we can stop.
Can you jump down there without dying? Seems doubtful. Shortcut.
Oh, that's the flag.
Yeah, see, flags. It's pretty simple technology, you gotta admit. Dash refill. There's a dashometer. Okay, so we have to find a place. These always should be nearby. Oh, look, there he is.
This side one's
Let's try it. So we're looking for. Okay, there's our way up. Where's the second little thing we get to do? Oh yeah, of course it is. Finally got to run down the spear. Oh look! Oh look! There's a hole in the demon that we run through. That's pretty adorable. Is he gonna shoot it? We shot it. Oh no! We actually went into it. Okay, that's better. No, it didn't go into it. It made a plasma blade. Yes, plasma blade spears would be so much better than regular spears.
I mean, they would.
I guess so. If you're fighting guys that had, if you're fighting like the ancient Romans, that's how it bugs me that they have guys with spears in the modern world. I mean, the last time a modern army talked about having spears was 1945, when the Japanese said, "We will give all our people spears and they can stop the American invasion." That was so bogus that even the Imperial Japanese knew it was bogus. Cool. Get him! Hey, how come he isn't burned by that? Boo!
Oh, yeah.
What are those things?
It makes a popping sound when you pop it.
What are those things?
Damn soul.
No, they look different. They had thorns like the imps, but they were like really slow and lame.
Yeah, I told they were gonna look different as the game went on.
They acted different too. They could barely do anything. They just slogged through the mud. Okay. Oh, look at that. Is that another sentinel thing?
So,
Blue light means technology.
that's right.
It's the rule. Just like in a role-playing game, pink things are health, and in a video and in a shooter, green things are health. That's kind of how it works. And if there's one thing I've learned from playing shooters, if you destroy an ancient crate in a warehouse that's been there for like 6 weeks and it has a chicken leg in it, eat it.
That's right. Oh, that's.
Let's go back to Wolfenstein, which was just about the first shooter, I guess. Though it was only solo. Yes, we love seeing these things work. I mock them every time, but I'm not saying they aren't cool. Okay, so ooh, look, a wall of grossness. I like that they've taken the walls that we could only have flat textures.
It's ribs.
It is ribs. So presumably this is some giant snake-like monster.
Yes.
They never think about what the shape of the creature was that denoted the bones to these things.
I know.
It's like they just grew the bones in a vat.
That's right.
Also, the creature's ribs were really far apart from each other, because that one actually shot a shotgun in the monster. I admit I've done my share of designing games with platform jumping over lava. You did it!
Oh, I finally did.
What a hero, don't go fall off that thing now.
Edgar will just clip that part out, right, Edgar?
And we are...
Oh, I missed it.
You missed it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so...
This already? Yeah.
Those are tusks or ribs or both. See, those teeth don't make any sense either, really.
It's just supposed to be creepy body horror, Dad. Not make sense. Because then it wouldn't be... Yes, it would be creepier to me.
But creepy body horror is creepy because it's based on
know.
something that makes sense being changed so it doesn't.
Oh, like this one.
That one, yeah, that one actually has a... Oh, it's a rhinoceros. Fun fact, rhinoceros have front incisors and cows don't. That's why rhinoceros are better. Although they only have one horn, no cows do. But I guess some cows have zero, so there's that. Okay, kill this guy. And the monies. Kill this guy. The green bullets are for your machine gun. I haven't really been paying attention.
Alright.
So you killed that guy finally. And now you're going to get that money, and now you're going to fail
Now we're going to fail to do this again. Where am I supposed to go from here? Ah, that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay.
And then we get the armor, and that was all we get the armor? Oh no, it's people here. More health to get back to full. Ooh, look, 2 cacodemons. We have to eat it. You shot him from behind.
The magic of video games.
I'm gonna go with it flew up his butt. He didn't really have a butt though, did he? I mean, none of the demons I made for Planet Apocalypse have butts. That was kind of a rule.
Optional intense encounters.
Forget it. Let's go to the boss. No Slayer gates. I mean, we're only playing on the Don't Hurt Me level. I guess it's not the Don't Hurt Me level, it's the
Hurt Me Plenty.
Hurt Me Plenty.
Sorry, I did that in silence, but it's okay.
I'm fine on this level. You know, another fun fact is that originally we did not have a Nightmare level, we just had the Ultraviolet. We had 4 levels, but Ultraviolet was one of them. And then we released it and said, boy, Ultraviolet is so hard, people will be able to beat that. And then they immediately, of course, beat that like the first week, even though nobody had ever played a shooter before. And so John Carmack said, I guess we gotta make a tougher level, so we quickly put together the Nightmare level and threw it out there, and then that was harder to beat, but of course they beat that within a week too, but then we said, okay, we gave up and said, fine, it's hard enough.
Nightmare had extra enemies, right?
No, the enemies, like, their shots tracked you, and they were tougher. Because we didn't redo it, because the other levels, what happened is we actually redid what monsters appeared and where they appeared, and where your ammo and stuff was. Cool. But the Nightmare, we just, like, programmatically made it tougher. Because we didn't want to go through all the levels again. And I mean, maybe on this one they did that, but we didn't do it originally. And then we decided that if they were able to beat our Nightmare, then if they wanted to meet someone tougher, they could play head-to-head PvP. And that would... Of course, we didn't know to call it PvP, we just called it Deathmatch. Which I don't know why player versus player caught on and Deathmatch didn't so much, because player versus player is awkward and hard to say and isn't obvious what it is.
Deathmatch nowadays is there's lots of different. It's just another game mode, basically.
Well, sure, of course there's another game mode.
Player versus player is just like saying it's multiplayer, head to head, you know.
Well, I would co-op versus player, right? Mohawk guy.
And so am I.
Okay, so I guess that's a magic sword thing, like a laser sword. Which are not laser swords.
We're supposed to go.
Okay, so that guy is useless.
Yes.
An old guy that sits around in the middle of a really hard place to get to, and then just gives you, he like, talks about how bad everything is and how he lost
two giant gun thingies.
his dog is dead.
Look, it's got a big statue.
Lost his pickup truck. Like a country western song. Speaking as a guy that loves country western, by the way. But cool. I guess if I play Doom, I shouldn't love country western. I should love
heavy metal.
I should love heavy metal. I do like some heavy metal. I recently found out about the band Who, and so they're now my new champions, because I've loved Mongolian throat singing for a long time, and so the fact that there's a Mongolian throat singing heavy metal
has been identified. I will mark its location on your
Okay, that is straight out of Mario.
Yes.
There's just no doubting that. Plus, these incompetent city designers that made these platforms to fall down.
Oh my gosh, I actually hit you.
I guess they only fall down a little temporarily. There's nothing to the right. Giant twisty thing.
Oh, that's...
Look up.
What?
Was it that?
That?
Is it the alien?
It's the back of the Sentinel when we were in the room with the guy.
Oh.
That's at the back. That's like the big gun part.
Only has guts. Made it, apparently. Is that a rocket launcher ammo?
That was shotgun ammo, I think.
Was it a weird white box? I was confused.
Oh, come on, I'm terrible at that.
And what I did do, we had this plan where you gradually ramp up through the levels and the monsters, and so you wouldn't see your first Cacodemon until episode 2, and you wouldn't get the rocket launcher until, right? And we had all these plans for it, and then John Romero said it's more fun to have all the weapons, so we didn't use hardly any of that. You find chainsaws on the very first level and stuff. It used to be this special thing that was really hard to get, almost like a secret weapon. I'm not saying that was better, I'm just saying that was like a little insight into how things were done. So these guys seem to have organized. They're getting the weapons and stuff. The skull. What does that do?
Oh, that's not what that is. Double damage.
Oh, quad damage?
Yeah, quad damage. Look at that guy. This is always the worst part, the back of that guy.
I guess your quad damage roll up. No? Another get an ultra kill or you're gonna die. So you have 12 health. There you go. Yep, I know that pulling the guy's jaw going out always makes my health get better.
Yeah.
Quick, jump through the teleporter. That's your only hope. The ammo will respawn, just like real ammo does. So there's a circus movie called Rampage, where the guy gets an RPG-7 and he runs around in the last scene, and he literally is finding ammo like on the ground scattered everywhere in the enemy camp. It's pretty hilarious. It's like there's ammo by the garbage cans and ammo by a cooking fire, which really concerns me because I don't think you should keep rocket launch grenades by a cooking fire. But he was like, you run around with his RPG-7 and suddenly find a grenade and shoot it. So if you ever have a chance to see Rampage, it's hysterical. The Turkish Rambo. Also, the bad guy looks kind of like a Leonard Nimoy who's melted. And of course, the bad guys are all Kurds because, you know, Turks. So they're along with Kurds. Oh. So, if you don't need to heal, why didn't he has a gun? He should shoot you. He lusts for fisticuffs.
Right.
Look, a new thing. Haven't we seen this? Oh, a checkpoint. Never mind.
Oh, fast travel.
Fast travel. Okay. Is that the end of the level?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I think our job here is done.
Yep, that was pretty informative.
Well, I tried to give some useful tips. It's clear the guys at Bethesda are awesome. And actually some of my friends, hey Billy, how you doing? He's one of my buddies over there. And I'm excited to see more of these newer things. From an old guy who did things the old way, back with crappier technology and less talent.